Good evening, YouTube world. Welcome to Paul Italia's just kicking back and talking right now. We got the man himself, Matt Hollywood Connelly in the house. We got the young bro, Matt, you looking like you're getting bigger over there in India, man. Whatever they're feeding you, it's working. Holy shit.
It's all the spice. Yeah, no, it's the good lighting. I definitely didn't spend 40 minutes trying to set up the perfect lighting to do that.
And we got the young phenom from South Africa. I think he's in Australia right now, all ready for this weekend. Riekerd Bornman in the house, and he's been the craze everybody's been talking about. Everybody wanted to have him on interview, and they were asking all these questions. I was like, well, we're gonna get him on interview so you guys could ask him directly and all that. So, how are you, Riekerd?
I'm awesome, Paul. I'm awesome. Preparation has been so good. It's just the nerves kicking in now. But yeah, very excited. I trained really hard. I've done my part. And now it's time now, yeah. But thank you so much for having me. And thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, thank you for coming on. So, Matt, I wanted to just kind of get the updated details. I know who was originally on the card, but I know under the post that I put out there, you said there was a couple changes. So just want you to update everybody what's going on with that.
Yeah, so Stretch, the 6'8", 150 kilo behemoth, unfortunately he's had to pull out, but we've got a man, his nickname is the Canberra Dragster. His real name is Alex McKinnon, and he's been on an absolute tear lately in Australia. He's won the ACT, which is a state titles, and he just blew through the competition over there. And he's looking stronger and stronger. He's one of those really up and coming guys, but he's sitting in that heavyweight division as well. And so he's another big guy that's going to be chasing Riekerd. And I think I've said this a couple of times, but we went and tried to find everyone who was a huge monster of a person to throw at Riekerd and to see if they could take him down.
Well, I can't wait. And what was Stretch's name? That's his nickname, I'm assuming. What was his full name?
Yeah, so Joel Hewitt.
Oh, okay, got you. And so we still got the other monster in there, Marcus Atiri. Is that how you say it?
Okay. Yeah, Marcus Atiri. Yeah, so he trains with Riekerd. They're up in Brisbane. So Lachlan Adair, Riekerd Bornman, Ryan Bowen, Marcus Atiri. There's a whole bunch of other killers in that club. I think of the top 10 in Australia, they might have 6 or 7 of them.
Wow. So that would be the biggest guy in the whole competition. Am I right saying that?
Yeah, 165 kilos, 6'6". He's a monster. But again, he's a lovely guy. It's such a funny contrast that it seems to be that the bigger the guy, the nicer they are.
Well, they look the part, bro. They don't got to be mean dudes. Everybody knows not to mess with those guys.
Yeah, he's wonderful. And their club actually runs out of Marcus's back shed. And if you've seen any of the AWE Underground matches, that's where we ran. Was in Marcus's shed.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So I just want to get all the details again for all our viewers and everything. So it's going down. Give us when we could see it over here in North America, because I had everybody hitting me up, kind of asking about when's it actually going down, and we know that you're giving out the edited version. They're going to be working real hard as the event's going on. So the second that it's done, the edit starts beginning, and then within a couple of hours they'll have it up. So we're going to get rid of all the dead time, and that's kind of one of the big conversations that we've been having over the last couple of weeks over the Buzz Show, is like, how do we get this mainstream? So Matt's they figured it out, like they want to go with the edited version and just give us all the action and not to see the dead time in between. So Matt, when can North America expect to see it coming up on your free show? I'm telling you, on AWE Underground. That's another thing that I love. They're giving this great event for free. So, Matt, when's it all go down, brother?
Yeah, so Sunday, the 27th of October, which is this Sunday coming up, here in Australia, we're kicking things off here at 12:30 in the afternoon. We're expecting it to run maybe three and a bit hours for all of the event to complete, and that includes the double elimination tournament. Then we've got a super match with Riekerd and Brett Coots on the left hand, and then there is also 2 super matches between Keziah Harrington, who's #1 in Australia. She's taking on Ashley Huerta from New Zealand. They're doing both right and left. And once all of that is finished, the second that it's done, they'll be handing that footage straight over to me, and I'll have my computer right there ready to go. And as soon as all the after pull and everything starts, I'm going to be cutting that footage right then and there. So it'll take me a couple of hours to get through it all and then upload it. But yeah, I think because of the time difference, it'll work out quite well with the US audience that you'll probably expect on Sunday morning.
Okay, so guys, as soon as you wake up Sunday morning, right before football, you're going to go over to AWE Underground. First off, make sure you guys are subscribed right now. Go and click it. So as soon as that comes up, you'll get the notification. And I just want to shout out everybody in the chat. You know, it's late on the East Coast for everybody. I think it's 11 p.m. over there. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got our regulars in the house. We got Riekerd in here. We got Savage Arm Wrestling. We got the 98. What's up, Gronin? How you doing, brother? We got Stizzy. We got Alanis. USS Liberty. What's up, brother? How you been, man? And the Kardasky. We got all the regulars in there. So I really appreciate that. And Savage Arm Wrestling says, I'm out on a break, but I know this is going to be a good one. So I went ahead, dropped the like, looking to see if I could get Toshi to travel down to Australia and get some work in. Yeah, so what would you guys think about Toshi, man, coming over to Australia? And Riekerd, have you ever gripped up with Toshi, or do you know of him?
No, is it the guy that just faced Mario?
He went against Materangi. Yes, you're right, 100%. Yes, he just went against him. I don't know, where was that? That was in Japan?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Okay, and then he went against...
I've never gripped up with him, but he looks insane, man. His side pressure is amazing, but the way Mario handled him, it's phenomenal. Yeah, no, Mario is really good. So yeah, it would be good to bring him down to Australia, and maybe we can learn a few things from him. Because lately I've been seeing all these Korean arm wrestlers. They are just crazy with going sideways, eh? That's something I also like, yeah.
That was what I noticed with him. You know, I got to watch him at Knuckles Up, and I think the whole place was in shock when he beat Materangi. You know, I don't think anybody expected that. I think he was even in shock that he did it that day, you know. But I got to see him on the after pull table, and, you know, he was pretty shot after that whole match with Materangi. But, you know, anytime anybody would get close to getting him to a pin, all of a sudden you would just see this violent side pressure just coming out, and he would bring them all the way back. And I was very impressed with him that day for sure. So that would be a pretty cool thing. And Savage Arm Wrestling says, I really think him and Borman would be a good match.
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah.
Matt, what do you think of that, man? Do you think Riekerd's a little too much power for him, or do you think that would be a good one?
Yeah, I you know, you don't want to say it's not going to be competitive, but I don't think it's going to be competitive. I think that if you know, I've seen the matches that Mario and Riekerd have had, and at the beginning of Riekerd's career 6 months ago, he was struggling with Mario, but you know, since I'm exaggerating, it's been probably 18 months to 2 years at this point, I think. And so your very first match, Riekerd's first match, was against Mario Tabakis at AWE 2, and Mario was able to get the victory. But since then, Riekerd has improved his performance and skill on the table, and he's actually improved to the point where he is defeating Mario on the table. So if Mario is winning against you know, the Korean gentleman, then I don't know if it would be Toshi. I don't know if it would be as competitive a match. But if he's here in Australia and he was around, then you know, why not put something together? But yeah, I don't think it would be a match that you would go, this will be a 50-50. It's hard to pick. I think I've got Riekerd as a 90-10 favorite there.
Is Toshi, I've been mixing this up then. Is Toshi from South Korea, or is he from Japan? Because I think I said Japan. You know, is he a South Korean?
I think the competition was in Japan.
Okay. Yeah, we got to find that out. Savage, if you're in here, just let me know if he's because I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that he's from Japan. I think he went against a South Korean, or either that, or he was a South Korean going against a Japanese one. Because I remember I bet on him the first time that I was at Knuckles Up. I was sitting next to my boy Chris Voodoo, and we didn't know either competitor, and he's like, you take one and let's put $100 on it. And I was like, all right, and I took Toshi, and Toshi got the win that day. So I've been a fan since. But if he's if he's not from Japan, I'm sorry, and I got he's South Korean. U.S. Liberty says, "Wow, is Matt enhanced?" I think he's talking about your double bicep pose and all that.
Yeah, it's the lighting. The lighting does wonders for you, ladies and gentlemen.
But Matt did come out and say Sunday night that he only messes with TRT, so he was clear with that. So that definitely helps with the guns looking like that. But I know Matt puts in the work, and Matt's been he's been a bodybuilding for quite some time as well, right?
Yeah, 23 years I've been training in the gym, and I use testosterone, but I've only used testosterone for the last 2 years. So, and prior to that was completely natural.
Did you see a big difference with that? With going to testosterone, do you feel better? What have you noticed being on it?
I noticed that my decline had stopped when I hit like 39, like 38, 39. Everything just started getting smaller and weaker slowly. And no matter what I was doing, training more, training less, trying to eat more, sleep more, different routines, different exercises. And I was like gradually, regardless of what I did, this decline was still slowly happening. And it was like my numbers are slowly going down. And I'm like, well, I guess this is aging, and it doesn't seem to be much I can really do to prevent this from happening. Like I've tried, it was probably a 3-year period of trying different things to stop this, decline. And so when I used testosterone, when I started that, within 3 to 4 weeks, that decline stopped. And then I pushed back up to basically where I was when I was about late 20s in terms of strength. But I haven't gone beyond that. I haven't gone beyond what I've ever done before. It's not like I went, oh, this is amazing, and now I'm doing 3 times the amount. It just pushed me back to where I was in my late 20s.
Okay. And Donka's arm wrestling, which is Taran Broad from Australia, he says the guy Mario face isn't Toshi. Yeah, it was Toshi, man. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was definitely him.
Some of the names get a bit confusing, but because Shishiro is it Toshiyuki Shishiro, or am I combining 2 names there?
It is Toshi, but I thought we were just calling him Toshi as like his nickname for it easier. We said, is there maybe another arm wrestler named Toshi, and we're kind of confusing that? I don't know. You got to clear that up for us, Taran. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. He's one of the guys who'll be in the tournament.
Yeah, no, I know. I recognized the name right away. That's why I said Australia. So I wanted to ask Riekerd this because we just spoke about you going against Mario Tambakis as your first super match, which that's got to be crazy, just coming in the game and right off the bat going against Mario. So what did you learn from that match with Mario? And now would there be a different outcome if you pulled him today?
Yes, I would. I have to say that I've been training really hard. And the thing is, I think my table IQ has gone up a bit as well. So with that first comp with Mario, I was afraid to come in, So I was just catching on my bicep. It didn't engage from the beginning. So yes, I was a bit afraid still, but now I'm connected. I'm comfortable. Because last year I went back to South Africa, and you won't believe it. My 16-year-old brother made me believe in myself to go sideways and to get deep into a hook. So yeah, he would just put a few bands on him with a strap around his wrist, and he would just pull, and I would keep everything I had. And since then, I've started to develop something on the inside. Normally, when I train with Lachlan a day on Wednesdays, I'll say it's better for me to actually top roll, but I'll take him on in the hook as well. So yes.
Well, we got an interesting comment you're going to want to hear from Henry. He says, tell Riekerd that I just interviewed Lachlan, and Lachlan said Riekerd isn't close to beating him.
Yes. No, Lachlan sent me a message just after the interview. So, yeah, I don't know if he's afraid or what, that I'm going to hear something in the interview or so.
So is this true? What do you think, man? Do you think you can beat Lachlan if it was like a super match?
It's tough, Paul, but I do give myself the upper hand. I do, yes.
Yes. Okay. So we
The
might
thing is, the
have.
thing is, it's really something I would like to do, because I mean, it's taking away from the athlete. You know, we want to know who's the number one in Australia. That's a massive honor, and unfortunately, we won't be able to see that for a while. And so the only thing we can do is go off our training footage and assumptions and all that. You know, but I'm not afraid anymore. I'll take him head on, yes.
Wow, sounds like a young, hungry lion right there, bro. Hell yeah. And you know what we could do, man? You could just, because you guys practice together, just, have a practice match. You know what I mean? As long as it doesn't, we could call it something else than a match. You know what I mean? And, just make sure we get it on footage because we want to see that. Everybody's waiting to see that.
That's a problem. It won't be video. So that's a problem.
Okay, well, if it's behind closed doors, we'll just have to hear, what happened and all. But I definitely want to see that because a super match does put a different setting on it, and maybe Lachlan's holding back or something, and maybe he's got some secrets up his sleeve, and that experience might come into play.
So let me tell you something. About 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with Lachlan just after our training session, and I told him I'm going back to South Africa for 3 months. When I come back, I'm a different animal, man. So it's a motivation for both him and me, because I respect him. He's one of my friends. He's been helping me and all that. But when it comes down to who's the number one in Australia, he won't back down. Let me tell you that. He'll be a different animal. So that's something that I've learned in the sport, is that you can be as nice as you want to, but if it comes to the table and your sport in the arm wrestling world, you have to fight for yourself. So when I'm coming back in 3 months, and Lachlan knows this, it's over.
Oh man, I love it. He's coming for that number one title, bro. He wants it. So are you the number one arm wrestler in Africa then, or in like South Africa? Are you the king over there, or you don't really know yet?
So there's actually they have a competition coming up 7 December, and they asked me to go, but there's something that's stopping me to go. So I can't actually talk too much about it, but sadly they had to get an opponent for Terence. So yes, but if he's still keen, I'll be in South Africa for 3 months, and that's I've told him it'll be a massive honor for me to pull Terence. That he's a legend. So it's not about the number one sport, but it's to prove myself. Because my first ever grip up in South Africa, or competition in South Africa, I faced Terence, and Terence wasn't in a good shape at that stage, but I was a beginner. I was just starting. It's my first competition, and we had fun on the table. And he seems to be a nice dude. We chat on a regular basis as well, So it would be nice to have a match with him. I would really like that, but definitely in the future. And it'll be awesome to be number one in my country, because I'm a really proud South African. So yeah.
Hell yeah. So they did report back, and they said that he is Japanese. He's from Japan. But
Awesome.
yeah, Torando keeps saying, I think there's who wins in Japan, Toshi or Yoshi Kanai. So I think he thinks that we're talking about somebody else, but I think Toshi is we're right with that name, with that nickname. That's the guy we're talking about, the Japanese arm wrestler. I'm gonna ask Savage Arm Wrestling because I know that's his neck of the woods over there and everything. So
yeah,
Riekerd,
he did respond. Savage responded in the comments, and he said, "You're correct, Paul. It is Toshi."
Okay, cool. Riekerd,
Yes.
what is the state of arm wrestling in South Africa? Is this like a big thing over there? Are there tons of pullers? Like, give us kind of the level everybody's at over there.
Okay, so to be totally honest with you, I haven't been there in 2 years, and I've never been in the arm wrestling scene in South Africa. But I do know there's a few things starting now. So you can go watch it on YouTube. I think about 2 to 3 weekends, or maybe, it's like 2 weekends ago. South Africa had this tournament called Armdruk is Groot. It's in my language. It's arm wrestling is big. Okay. So they also had an 8-man tournament. They had super matches. So there was 8 guys, 4 super matches, and then after all the super matches, they had this 8-man tournament. It was actually really cool to see, and the level. I would like to see what the level is. I'm going back now, so I'm really excited to grip up with a few of the guys. We have a strongman there as well. So Interis says he's been wild. So yes, I don't know. I think it's picking up. I'm getting a lot of tags and all that on social media from South Africans and all that. So that's good to see. I can see the clubs are growing and all that. But I think the level is definitely picking up. I just got a message. This is actually really special to me, and it's motivating me. So I got a message from this South African. And he says his 2 kids is making him crazy about me. Just watching arm wrestling, they just want to arm wrestle all the time and all that, and they just want to post of me and my hand signature. So this is. Well, it's something small, but in my heart, it's massive. And this drives me forward to inspire and motivate younger children out there. So just to see a South African sending me that message, it's incredible for me. So I think up in the Cape, there's arm wrestling clubs and starting opening and all that. So yeah, I'd say the level is, or not the level, the quantity is starting to increase.
That is amazing, bro. What I think is even more amazing is like you're coming a superstar and you haven't even arm wrestled in South Africa, and everybody's embracing you already. That is some cool stuff right there.
It's amazing, man. I've been so blessed, Paul. I've been so blessed, man. I've had an interview with Henry, and I told him I'm really so blessed. These guys they've been working 10 to 15 years, and they also love the sport and work hard every day, and they just didn't have the opportunity. But I've been blessed with special people in my corner, and I'm going places. But from my side, they have my respect, and I work incredibly hard.
Well, we could see it, man. We see the results on the table. But Henry's poking the bear right now. He says Lachlan said Riekerd shows up late to practice and that he doesn't give full effort in practices. I think they need a match personally. So
yeah. I'm gonna leave this, and I would rather have a conversation with Loki face to face. He's like 10 minutes from me, so I'll ask him what this is. But I don't know what he's talking about. But it would be nice to have me and him. But it's hard because I just live 10 minutes from him. But it would be nice to have me and him on a podcast. That would be nice.
Well, I'll hit him up, man. I'll hit him up right after this, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
I can also poke the bear, but I haven't said a thing. But I think I'm going to say something now.
You know what I'm going to do, Riekerd? I'm going to wait till I'm going to send Lachlan a message, but I would like to do it next week. I want you to focus on this weekend. That's your main thing is just do what you do Sunday and all, and then right after that, I'll talk. Lachlan's a dear friend of mine. I've been hanging out with Lachlan quite often. He came out to the States a few times. I threw a couple matches with him, so I'll talk to him, and I'd love to just get you guys on together and kind of clear things up and see if we could push it to make a match happen or a practice match or something.
That would be amazing.
The other thing I want to do with you, Riekerd, is if possible, man, when you get back to South Africa, when you go to train with a couple of these guys, man, I would love for you to bring, somebody on, like maybe somebody that sticks out that you think is a good representation of South Africa.
Well, let me tell you something. So my little brother, he's 16 years old. I think when I go back, he's going to look me in the eyes. So South Africans are big people. Really big people, and it's the South African mindset is just you want to win, So there's a few guys out there, but I will 100% do that. I will definitely do that. On the 7th of December, it will be live streamed on YouTube, and that's the best in South Africa. That's the best guys in South Africa. So if you're really keen on watching it in a competition stage, that's the place to go. It's Armdruk is groot. I'll send you it through on a messenger.
Okay, so when we get off here, message me that, and I'll definitely, and then me and Matt will follow up on it and see if we could get maybe somebody, a competitor or something, and bring them on. Me and Matt were actually just talking where I think we're going to do with the Arm Wrestling Buzz, we're going to do like a special show on a different time, and it's going to be the Arm Wrestling Buzz International. And we're going to pick another day, and we're going to just focus on, all different places around the world and just kind of bring the new people into this and spotlight them, because because right now with Arm Wrestling Buzz, it works here in the States and it works for Australia time wise. But, you know, a lot of other people, it's like in the middle of the night, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it kind of been limited us who we could have on the show. But if we do the international, we'll kind of set up more like a neutral time that it works for everybody. And, you know, South Africa is definitely one of those areas that we definitely want to learn about with arm wrestling and all. So that'd be pretty cool to do as well.
Yes.
A lot of people have been asking, what's your weight at right now, brother?
125.
So what is that in pounds?
That's about 272, 272, something like that.
Yeah, 225. Yeah.
And you're 6'3", correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys all got the stats now, and we got a legend in the house, man. We got Cobra Rhodes. He says, "Yo, Paulie, what's up, Cobra? How you doing, brother?" Hell yeah, man. So yeah, so I want to hear now, where are you at as far as preparation for this 8-man? I know you won the last one, and you're the belt holder and all. How are you compared to the last one? Are you coming in 100%? Are you even stronger than the last one? Where are you at?
Definitely stronger. Definitely. It's I think Brett forgot how manpower feel like. You know, I think he forgot what it feels like. It's just when I think about it, Paul. It's just when I went into that 8-man tournament. This is no excuses or whatever. Okay, so I've been sick 2 weeks leading up to that event. And I even came late. So my mind was all over the place. I knew there was not a chance, a small percentage of my hand to give myself that day. And now I'm 100% focused for months. My arm feels really solid. So I think I'm going to be hard to beat. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but I'm going to be really hard to beat.
Who in this 8-man are you worried about? Like, if you had to say one person, who would it be?
No, I don't think there's one, Paul.
Oh man, I love that response right there, bro. The silence and everything. Like, holy shit, man. So you're telling us you're coming home with that belt, man. That belt's staying with you, bro.
You know, the thing is that I'm going to share something personal. So I'm going back to South Africa 2nd of November, and my biggest goal is to bring that belt when my parents come fetch me on the airport. That will be the biggest thing for me. So they're on my wrist.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for them, and definitely for myself as well. But it'll be a massive honor to walk in with that belt.
And we were talking about this, just walking through the airport, like having that over your shoulder and all, like the reactions you're going to get. And, you know, people are going to be coming up to you and probably want pictures and all that, you know. That's got to be a really, really cool feeling as well, man.
It's special. But first I have to win the belt, eh?
Yeah. U.S. Liberty, he has a $4.20 super chat. He says, Matt, how is Panja going for you? Any Indian hash?
Indian hash. No, I haven't personally partaken, but we were walking through the streets the other day, and I was dodging the guys that were literally angle grinding on the footpath and MIG welding as well. So getting sparks in the leg, and we passed them, and there was several guys smoking up some substances behind them. So maybe that was helping with their construction work or something, but I was not keen to partake in that.
I got to see a video that Matt sent me, and you know, he was in like one of those little, I don't know if you would call it a cab or whatever. It's really not a cab, but the guy was going the wrong direction on the highway, and we had all heads on. I'm like, bro, I might lose my host over here for the Arm Wrestling Buzz, bro. You got to be careful. So tell us about that, man. Just tell us what, you know, what is some of the crazy experiences that you've seen over there? Because I know that had to stick out to you, bro. That was pretty scary moment for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anytime you go near a road, you're taking your life in your hands here. The traffic is lawless, like literally lawless. They drive any which way that they want. It's pretty much the attitude would be the most selfish possible way to drive. And it's just everyone is trying to push in front of everyone else the entire time, no matter what the danger or anything like that. So when I got they call them an auto, it's basically a motorcycle with walls so that you can sit in it. They're a lot cheaper than the taxis, and they get to places faster because they can weave a little bit better between the traffic. And when I was going back from the event yesterday back to the hotel, this guy has literally pulled in front of oncoming traffic that's going, it's a freeway traffic, like, 80 Ks an hour or whatever. And he's driving at cars and they're just coming at him and missing him. And I'm like, I got to get my phone out and record this. And I managed to get, as he went across the road and a truck like just missed us. You know that feeling when a truck goes past and the air like sucks your car, like, and I was like, whoa, oh my God. Yeah, I went to turn the phone to get my reaction and I hit the stop record button, unfortunately. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, I just almost got killed by a truck in Mumbai in India. So
how do the police act like that? Like they don't have a problem with doing stuff like that?
This the population is way too big to be able to control it. There's, everywhere you look, in every corner alleyway, there's hundreds of people. So the roads are just packed at all times, day and night. To get across the road, you have to walk in front of cars like that are going, 60, 45 miles an hour or whatever. You've just got to walk in front of them and put your hand up and hope they're going to stop. There's no break in traffic. You can't wait for a break. You won't get one. You just have to walk in front and hope you don't die.
Oh my God, that is crazy. So we got a comment. He says 125 kilograms at 6'3". Are you planning on international 115 kilogram class heavyweight? Because you're currently super heavyweight, but at the smaller end. Will it be tough at supers internationally? So what's your whole thoughts, man? Are you going to stay that weight, or do you want to drop down to 115 kilogram class? Or
To be totally honest with you, first of all, I have to make a name for myself if I want to start competing in classes, because if you're realistic about it, it's actually East versus West. That's the big class that you're chasing, But I'm gonna sit on 125. I'll even go up to 130 because I still feel comfortable and all that. But I think if I start to win matches, and I truly become confident in myself, I would definitely go down. I would definitely go down to 115 because then I have something to work for,
Would you ever
first have to prove myself?
Would you ever dabble with PEDs eventually? I know you're real young and all, but would you ever go that route? Because I mean that could change, your size and definitely could get you in a lot heavier to be able to compete in the supers. And I mean, a guy like you, you're definitely going to be knocking on the door of elites and all. Would that be something that you would be willing to do?
Paul, first of all, as a religious guy, I promise myself that I'm going to use my natural talents as far as I possibly can, and that would be something in the far future. But I'm not afraid of using them or whatever. But it's just I made myself a promise, and I'm true. I want to stick to it and prove that I can do it as far as I possibly can.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to encourage that. I just wanted to ask that question.
Yes,
If you
yes.
know me and all, I always say you should wait till you're like 35 years old, when you're actually your natural test is going down and all. And
yeah, because I think mine is abnormal at this stage.
Yeah, I think so.
I would actually like to go test it just to see where it's at, because some days I swear I feel stronger than a buffalo.
Now, how is it like with your nutrition? Are you a nutrition guy? Do you really watch what you eat?
No, but I should. Paul. It's really something I want to start focusing on next year. But yes, I'm all over the place. I just eat a lot. Whatever I eat a lot. But I should start looking at a proper diet and all that. Because my training is always on point. And this is one thing that I told myself: to be a champion, you can't just train hard. Everyone trains hard, You have to do all the small stuff. Diet, you have to do your rehab and all that small stuff, and that's really something I want to start focusing on, because I want to get the best performance as I possibly can. Yes.
Now, what are you doing, to work on the technique? Because obviously we know you got the strength and the power and all. Now, is it like training with these big guys that you are? Is that forcing you to learn technique, or you're still kind of just overpowering people?
Uh, I think it's the instinct to change. I think that's a truly an important part in arm wrestling is to know when to change. So I think I'm starting to get a small hold of it. Technique was it's going to take me to be proficient in something. It takes you a while, But my elbow is allowing me to go sideways, so there's nothing. I don't think it's a technical thing. It's just it's allowing me to do that. Where on the left, you won't ever see me setting up for a press, So yes, Ray can expect his wrist to be busted, all that. but yeah, like I said, technical. You can always work on it, but it's going to take me a while still. Yes, and it's definitely helping me. Yes, with training with Lachlan and Ryan and all that.
Now,
Yeah,
are they helping with the technique? Are they teaching you technique, or?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Ryan teaches me a bunch. Yeah, Ryan has been a blessing in my career. I've learned so much from that guy. I don't know if you ever had the conversation to talk to him with outside stuff and all that. And when you talk to him about arm wrestling, he just has it, eh? He has it down to the fine point. He's actually really smart, really, really smart.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that, man. He lives and breathes arm wrestling, and
Yeah,
he's one of those
but
real technical guys.
yeah, but I feel so bad sometimes because he's explaining something to me, but I'm just not there yet. So I'm trying my best. Like he's trying to show me a low end top roll, and I'm just not getting it yet. So, but yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. But
You know what it is, Riekerd? What I realized in at my beginning, journey into arm wrestling is you have so many people that are trying to help you, and everybody's giving you like 2 to 3 things, and then before you know it, you have 20 different things coming in your head, and when you're on the table, you're trying to remember one of them, and then you're thinking of something else. So you kind of it confuses you. It could kind of work
yes.
against you sometimes. What I've learned over the years is just kind of go with the flow, bro. It'll come one day. You're just going to start moving on that pad differently. Things that didn't make sense to you before, it's just going to click, man. And that's
Yes,
kind of what
that's
happened to
starting to
me.
happen. That's starting to happen for me now. Because if you go back and watch training footage of me last year, so I was setting up on the table. If I didn't get position and I lose my hand, where do I go? Boom, I do this, and that has caused so many injuries for me. I wish I've never done that. So yeah, but now I can feel, okay, let's try to get the hand. Okay, the hand is not working, so I'll take the pin and then switch up to more inside high hook or something like that. So I'm starting to switch up, and that's where my progress has been. Yes.
Where are you most comfortable?
When I go, sorry, Paul.
Where are you most comfortable? What style makes you like, that's your favorite style?
I really like it to top roll. I really like it. But the press is just getting it done for me now. So, and the thing as well is, like I explained to Henry the other day, it's just when you go in that press, I'm already coiled up and ready to shoot. So if I stop, I can immediately go into hook. Because from a press, it'll be really hard to take my wrist. So if you get to stop, I can still get my shoulder into it and hook. So yeah. And
Very
from
nice.
there, you can a dragging hook or even sudden top roll through that. And that's been working in training with Lachlan. So, yes, it's really nice because his bicep is super strong. That's one thing I always tell him. Just does he realize how strong his biceps is, And the thing is, where me and Ryan use bone line, Lachlan just uses his bicep. You can just sit on it. So Lachlan holds like this, and we hold like this, So using the shoulder, elbow, and all that, and Lachlan is using this. So yes, he's pretty strong. So he gets that sort. But if I can adjust quick enough and pull him into a hook and start attacking the hand, that gives me another go for victory. It's not for sure victory, but it's giving me another fighting chance.
Well, I got to say this, bro. What you just said, I mean, it's smart what you're doing, bro. It's you're doing the proper technique. You're using your frame, and anybody that knows it, a frame versus a bicep, the frame's gonna win. And especially when the frame is you and that big. So that's something you normally don't hear. Usually at the beginning, people are overpowering them using biceps. If you got a strong bicep curl or whatever. But when you're getting that frame behind you, that's exactly what we want to hear, bro. So that's something really great to hear from a guy that's pretty new on the table.
Yeah, thank you so much, bro. The thing is, like I said, I don't know what it is with my right arm, but it allows me to do it, But as soon as if I just try to do it on my left, it just says no, no. The elbow says no, no, So I'm lucky on the right. On the right, I can dive as hard as I want to and still get pulled out, and it doesn't feel painful, But let me get opened up in the top roll. Then the pain is crazy. I can't explain it.
Wow. Okay, that's something to know. And then we said, if you can truthfully beat Lachlan, once you beat Don Underwood, you should call out Mega Mike or Tim Bresnan. So what's your thoughts of that? So first off, let's talk about the Don Underwood match, because that's going to be a big one for you. That this guy is a legend of our sport, very well known. And I was in shock because I actually didn't know about this. And usually I know about the Knuckles Up matches before they announce them and all. And when I was sitting there at Knuckles Up during the halftime, all of a sudden I see you pop on, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, what's he doing here? And then next thing I hear Don Underwood going, listen, kid, and calling you son and all this. And I'm like, no way. I was like, they're really going to pull each other. So, what were your thoughts when you got this opportunity to pull a legend of our sport, Don Underwood? What was that like?
It's hard to explain it, eh? It's really hard to explain it. It feels like a dream. The thing is, I have so much respect for that guy and what he has achieved in the sport. It's incredible, and he just made it clear to me that he's been doing it for 35 years, and I'm only doing it for 2 years, and that I get off on the wrong side of the bed and all that. So the way he talks, I really like it. But the thing is, I don't have a scare hair on my head, So, and the thing is, for that match, I truly don't have anything to lose. I don't have anything to lose. I'm just gonna give it to that old man. and that's one thing that I've seen that's really been upsetting him. He's I don't know. I think he's a bit sensitive, But I've actually it was just a joke. But yes, I'm gonna show him that. Yes, there's a lot of young guys out there that's up and comers and all that. But you'll have my respect, and I'm gonna train really hard for him. I'm going back to South Africa, so my brother's gonna help me with that, and it's crazy. It's gonna be insane. I know that for sure.
Yeah, when I seen that you guys were having a match and all, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, Don Underwood's making his comeback right now, and I think what they did was they just threw out your name, and him not really being that connected, like listening to everything that goes on in the arm wrestling world, he didn't recognize your name probably, and was like, yeah, perfect. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, bro, this dude is like the young phenom. Like, this is not somebody you really want to make your comeback match with, bro. So that was what was going through my head. But then, I had Don on the other day. We had him on, and Don was saying he seems pretty confident in making his comeback. I know he had a hip replacement, and I know that was kind of putting him out for the last couple of years. So he's starting to feel a lot more confident, and like I could kind of see the old Don Underwood coming back. Don's one of those best shit talkers in arm wrestling. I don't know if he was a professional wrestler, and this guy's been on the big screen a bunch of times, and he's like Travis with that. I put him up on one of the top of all arm wrestling as far as talking shit. So I hope you put the humble aside for this match, bro, and you guys go back at it.
Unfortunately, I think that would be at the end of the day. That's going to be the thing. Because he won't allow it. He won't allow it. That's the thing. He won't allow it. Well, he'll just fight for that trash talk out of me. So if I try to hold back, I'm just going to put myself aside and get in a messy place. The thing is, I can also be a bit angry and get upset and all that. So it's just tough because, yeah. Because the thing is, I have a lot of respect for people older than me, and especially for what he has done, So, but yeah, we'll see on the day. But I won't be nice.
But you got to put that aside, man, because I kind of used to be like that too. And you know, a couple people would be like, yo, you know, I get it, you're old school, you want to respect your elders and all, but there's a time and a place. And you know, this is one of those that, you know, you guys are
Not
gonna
the
shake
place.
hands after and you know, everything will be cool. But I think you know, people want to see that, especially with Donnie, because we know he's gonna be talking all this shit. And you know, it's something that's gonna get you really well known out here in North America too. So definitely encourage that. And we have a super chat from US Liberty. Thank you again, bro. Another 420. And he says, is Australia or South Africa a better place to bulk up food wise?
Okay, so the thing is, you can speak to anyone. They normally like their country's food, you know.
Yes.
But it's hard. Australia is a good country, man. It's a good country, but probably South Africa.
Okay. Grant Lowe has a question. He says, ask Riekerd how South Africa's top pullers compare to Australia's elite. So I think you kind of answered that before. You really don't know where South Africa is yet. He hasn't actually felt
But
these
one thing
guys.
I do know for sure is that Terence Opperman is no joke. That's one thing we all know for sure, you know. I think he had it unlucky to get Reno Mason, you know. But yeah, I think don't underestimate Terence Opperman. That's why I would like that match so much. It was this close, and I could have been part of the tournament. But yeah, we'll definitely have a conversation after this and all that. We will work something out. I truly believe that. Because the thing is, if I
What
nothing
size
going
is he at?
Hey?
What's his weight?
He's a super heavyweight.
Do we know
He's one of the
exact weight,
legends of.
though?
Yes, he's big now. Yes, but yeah, he's a bit big. Yeah.
Is he a bigger guy than you are?
Weight maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think I'm taller than him, friend bigger than him, more muscular. So yeah.
Gotcha. And he said you should definitely extend your visit and get up to the high hookers, learn some stuff from Devin and crew. Okay.
Yes, that would be amazing. We are. That's Canada. The only problem is the visa side of things. You know, that's a really hard thing for me as a South African.
Okay. And he says 98 says, has Riekerd seen Don? Oh God, stop! You almost got me to read that out. Ryan Grant is playing with his 98. He's asking if he's seen his nude.
You got to be careful of 98 whenever you read those comments.
It's, you know what it is? It's hard to, you know, I'm trying to engage with you guys and then I'm trying to also like read these and put them up there. And sometimes I don't get to read it right away and I put it up there and I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have put that up there. And Grondin's always exposing me with that right there. Richard says, great show so far tonight. If you didn't hit the thumbs up button yet, you should help grow the channel. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And guys, if you're in here, it would really help me out getting the algorithm. Just hit that thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. So, Riekerd, I wanted to ask you, man, so what's the percentage you have yourself winning against Don Underwood? I want to see if you see yourself as the favorite or the underdog in that match.
Okay, so to be totally honest with you, I have a lot of respect for him, don't get me wrong. It's a massive thing that's going to happen in my life, my first international debut. But, you know, AWE has been doing so much for me. I've had this conversation with Ryan as well. They've been doing so much for me, Paul. I am where I am today because of them, you know. So I'm focusing on that. I want to, you see that, this belt, you see this belt. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I want it again. You know. And I want to be AWE's biggest superstar, you know. And that's really something. And, you know, Ryan asked me, how do you feel about this? And I said to him, to be totally honest with you, to be the champ in AWE, it's a much bigger honor for me, you know. So that's why, yeah, it's. But yeah, with Don, if I just squeak off my head, I would say I'm the underdog. I have a few things that I have to switch up for him. So that will be the 3 months that I go to South Africa. There's a few things that I have to work on, technically wise.
Like what are you expecting from him that you know that you got to be ready for? Is it the speed that he comes out with? Like what is something that you'd worry about?
Just a quick assessment. I think I would have to. It's speed as well, but learn to protect my pronator.
Okay.
Because the thing is,
So
he'll just shoot and go, And if he gets into my fingers, I'd rather take that than shooting into my pronator,
what would you look to press him? Would you like look to jump into a press or bring him inside? Like, what would you do to combat him?
You see, Paul, this is the nice thing of that press, I don't want to give away too much, but from there I can still feel the lane to go backwards is still there, So I've heard he had a hand of rock, so that's okay, I'll just see the coverage he has on my hand, and that will give me the clear pathway, But for the press, okay. So I think if I can stop his heat in a good position, I think the day is mine. I think if I stop him, the day is mine. But it's everything. So I have to get to that stop, It's that stop because he won't back off. He's been doing it for so long. He has that lane all sorted out, and it's my first time facing a explosive top roller, Because he's hitting sideways like a steam train, So yes, but I'm gonna train. So I want him to hit the brick wall, I want him to hit the brick wall, and I want his elbow to fly all over the place.
You know what I'm wishing. Somebody just popped in my head. I know he hasn't been active, but a Mike Aiello. I think that might be an interesting match with you guys. It's unfortunate Mike hasn't been in the sport. I think it's like a year or two now. I know he had some back surgeries and all, but a prime Mike Aiello, that would be a fun match to watch, Matt. What do you think of that?
Cool, man. That's cool.
I'd love to see it. I think Riekerd has the ability to go against some of the biggest names that are out there, and even though he sees himself as the underdog against Don Underwood, I think that he has a real shot at winning that match, which is why we set it up. And we thought there's no downside to having a match with a legend like Don Underwood, who's coming back, from surgery. He's trying to step back and make it up to the top again, and obviously Riekerd is also heading towards that whole area as well, and to match them up against each other, we knew Don was going to bring the charisma, and he was going to boost Riekerd's profile as well, and it's just going to be a fun match. And then if you've got guys like Mike Aiello and a whole bunch of, you could put Riekerd against anyone, and I think that it would be a fun competitive match. So I think we're going to see some fireworks January 25th at Knuckles Up, and then we'll see where things lead us from there.
Yeah,
Mate, your expectations is higher than my father's. I promise you that.
We'll see.
And the reason why I was saying Mike Aiello, man, is because I know Mike's an inside puller. That's like where he's comfortable. He likes going into a hook and all. And I could just see these two titans meeting in the middle in a hook, bro. That would just be amazing to watch, bro. I think that'd be a nuts match right there.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be cool. Especially facing a guy that's that big and that jacked,
Yeah, right? I mean, he is looking – I know he's got the back surgeries and all, but he still is looking insane these days. I know he's been just concentrating on, like, the bodybuilding look recently, but, yeah, he is looking nuts these days. I'm actually – when I go back into town into New York where I live over there, I'm going to be hanging out with him. I promised we would get a gym day and all that, so I'll definitely make some footage and get him in the gym working out and all.
Nice.
So I want to bring it back to this weekend, man, because I really want to get spotlight on this event. And we had Brett Coots on, and Brett was just saying he think he might have figured out the formula, to beat you and all. And I know after the 8-man event that you guys have, which both of you guys are in, you guys are going to be pulling a left-hand match, and I think Brett's even more confident about that. So what's your thoughts on Brett being very confident and thinking that he's got something for you with the left hand?
Yes, he truly does. To be totally honest with you, I can't believe that he's given me that match. That's my first ever left-hand super match. So that's pretty cool. And I've sent him multiple messages thanking him for this opportunity. This is truly testing myself against a guy that has been in the sport for 50 years and is at the top of the game on the left hand. So yes, I'm truly excited for that one. And he does. I think he has a bigger chance of winning than me on the left. But if I win him, I would be really, really proud of myself. That would be a massive achievement for me if I can beat him on the left. But on the right, I've heard him also saying that he's figured something out. I don't know what he's figured out, but the thing is, if you just think about it, he won't top roll me. That's impossible. So he has a hook and a press, but it's not nice when you have to face someone with a taller arm and you want to shoot him for a press. The thing is, I'm gonna have his rotation, his pronator. I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna cup in like lightning, and I'm gonna bring my shoulder forward, and I'm gonna smash him into the pad. So I don't know what he's figured out, but I'm super excited to see that. But yes, I'm being a big mouth now, but I'm pretty confident in my right. But I'm super excited for the left. I'm super excited for that because that's truly testing myself. I haven't trained my left. That's the big thing in arm wrestling. Only training one arm.
So you're doing the giant pumpkin training where you focus on the one arm and that's
yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I've been pulling on the table, and with Lachlan as well. He still beats me on the left, but I can feel it's something starting to develop there, and it's also because I'm starting to join small pieces. I'm starting to use my wrist flexion with a bit of more back pressure. I'm using the strap better on my left than my right. So the thing is, if I have to sum up this match with Brett this coming weekend, I think I will take his hand. I think I will take his hand on the left now. But then it's going to be a matter of bringing my shoulder forward slowly and working through his bicep. Because the thing is, he'll give you his hand, but his bicep is super strong. There's a match on the on AWE YouTube channel where he faced Bone Contado. I don't know if you've seen it, but Bone Contado is a really incredible left-hand puller, and he took Brett's wrist and he was smashing on Brett with a press, and Brett just held him, and he just went sideways through him.
I actually did see that. After we had him on interview, I went over there and I checked it out, and I was like, just like you said, man, he was so comfortable just hanging out there in a bad position, and then just decided to take him over for the ride. It was pretty crazy. But
yes.
His facial expressions never change. It's the funniest thing. I've sent this to him when I first got in the sport. I used to watch him, and I was like, mate, you are the calmest arm wrestler ever when you're just holding somebody. You're very. He'll sit in that spot there, an inch away from the pad, and he looks like the calmest man ever. Like he's thinking about something else. Did I leave the oven on at home, or what show should I watch tonight after I get home? It looks so relaxed, and the other dude's just giving it everything they can to try to fit him. That's fantastic.
Well, I got to give one piece of advice, Riekerd. You might not realize this, but you have to win both arms there, bro. Because if you go and you win right arm, and then you just say, "Oh, the left really isn't that important," that's gonna take away some of the hype of you, brother. So we need, like I'm telling you, from a promotional person.
Thank you so much for just putting that with Matt's expectation. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys, you really, right? Am I right or wrong, man? We need him to win both arms, because people will start dismissing it and be like, oh, but Brett beat him, and they'll forget what arm it was, and it'll just be that Brett beat him. So it's one of those. It's the hype is on you big, bro. They're putting you up against everybody in the chat right now. Like we're seeing Brian Shaw. Everybody wants to see that match. I know I posted a video about it in the Reddit, and I got all this blowback. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Riekerd would kill him. Why would you even bring this up?" But in the chat, everybody's saying that Brian Shaw would beat you. You know what I mean? And what's your thoughts on that, bro? You against Brian Shaw match? Do you think Brian's pretty brand new and everything, but he's just so big? Do you think you have what it takes to beat a guy like that with your right?
Yes, 100%. I do. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll always back myself. The thing is, as a hard worker and a guy that really believes in himself, I have to give myself the upper hand in most scenarios. I'm also realistic. I'm not just saying things. But with Brian Shaw, that's a big boy, That's a big boy. I would like that opportunity, but I don't know. But I think I will win him definitely, because I won't try to go outside with him. I'll just smash him.
right through him.
Yes.
Do you really know what level you're at, or are you kind of figuring it out right now? Because the
Yes.
way I'm thinking is like, you're going against the number one in Australia and all, but you really don't know where that number one in Australia matches up against the international stage. So does
Yes.
that have like, do you have questions in your head of where you actually land on the totem pole across
Yes,
the
I
world?
do. I 100% do. Because the thing is, last year was a tough year for me, getting into arm wrestling and all that. But since that AWE Grand Prix and my work that I've done the months prior to that, everything has started to connect for me, and I'm starting to feel like an arm wrestler. I can even see my arm is starting to change and all that. So it's actually me and Ryan had a conversation, and he looked at my arm and was like, "Hey, your wrist is getting thicker. You're getting arm wrestling wrist now." So it's small things, So it's all coming together now. So yeah, I would definitely like to test myself, but with the AWE Grand Prix, it's a massive, massive opportunity for myself to prove myself again. And facing Dawn in in January is also a big thing for me. And I, if I beat him, there'll probably be people that say, "Oh, Dawn was injured. He's old or whatever." But I'll get my opportunity to. Well, the thing is, I have 5 to 10 years. I love this sport. I'll do this sport every single day of my life. When the opportunities come, I'll take them on and give it my best. But if I have to wait for opportunities, that's not a problem at all. In that process, I'm just getting better and bigger.
Now, are you done with rugby?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
Well, unfortunately for you, but for us, we're like, hell yeah, bro. We got them all to ourselves in arm wrestling now, for real.
Yes, it's really sad, Paul. The thing is, I've been born with rugby running in my blood.
Yeah.
It's really tough for me. It was a super tough decision to make, but I had to make it because through that long process of injury, arm wrestling came up, and it was just this mentally. It was just so good for me. Because with the rugby, everything was just it was everything was in a good place. But physically my body couldn't handle it. It was just too much for me, and so I had to make peace with it. And arm wrestling has came up for me, and I will be the best there. And I have time. I have time.
Well, this is a good comment right here. And he says, well, right now is when you asked for it. Your first match is Don Underwood. Brian is Eddie Hall. You were both fresh in the sport. Make a soundbite that you want Brian Shaw next. So I'm thinking, after, when you're at Knuckles Up and you get that win against Don Underwood, and I'm saying, I think you're going to get that win, man. I think that's something you might want to keep in mind of somebody that you might want to call out on that big stage, because that soundbite will go, everywhere, and
Yes, that's 100%. That's true. And the thing is, me and my mother, we have this conversation all the time. It's like, it's okay if you lose. It's okay if you lose. At this stage of my career, it's not okay. I have to win if I want the hype to go on and to get somewhere a bit quicker. It's just, you still have to do the legit stuff, but just to get there, you have to win. That's unfortunately that's the truth. I haven't made a name for myself yet, but if you start winning, that's going to happen automatically, and that's for all the
Riekerd,
artists.
Riekerd, your name is buzzing everywhere. You have made a name for yourself already, but you are 100% correct, bro. That's why I'm saying you got to win both right hand and left against Brett. I'm not kidding with that. That's serious, because people will dismiss that, and that's what they're always looking for, something that they could put you down at.
Yes,
Just like you
100%.
just said, bro. You're gonna go beat Don Underwood, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, it's the old Don Underwood. He was hurt and all." But you're moving the goalpost each time. Your level is getting higher and higher, and I think that is a very smart move. Right after getting a win against Don Underwood, if that happens that day, is you do call out like somebody like Brian Shaw, because Brian Shaw is brand new. You're not too long in before him. That makes a lot of sense. And each time you compete, you're getting more and more experience. You're
Yes.
on these big stages right away, so your nerves are gonna start going away. You're gonna just get used to this, And I mean, that really does make sense, man. And if I was you, I'd have like maybe like 2 or 3 guys in your head that you could call out, and just, something to set up for your next one. And, people, if you keep getting these wins, man, they're going to start, throwing out bigger and bigger names that they want to see you going against next, man. And it's just really cool to see, bro. Somebody that's so new in the sport, and you obviously you deserve the spotlight and all. You're coming in and you're doing some pretty amazing things, but people are just like fantasizing against you versus this guy, you versus that guy. But just remember, you get that loss. It's not saying it's the end of the world, but it is going to slow down the hype train, man. So you want to keep that hype train going.
Yes, I do understand that.
Matt, what's your whole thoughts on everything with the hype train and all? And do you think it's very important that he gets these wins? And who would you like to see, coming up next? And, do you have an idea of where he stands, internationally? Like what's your thoughts on Riekerd?
Yeah, well, I mean, after the first event, the AWE Grand Prix, the first one where Riekerd took down the title with going through undefeated, and then there was the footage of him and Lachlan in the after pool, and Riekerd obviously looked quite good in that footage as well. I can tell you that we got messages from every single major promotion around the world saying that they wanted to get Riekerd on their event. And we wanted to make sure that we made the right move for Riekerd. The opponent that he had was the correct opponent. We had probably 12 different offers on the table, and some of them were like, I don't think that's the right way to go ahead. When Knuckles Up came to the table, we really like the Knuckles Up guys. We think they're doing a tremendous job over in the USA, and the opponent presented was Don Underwood, and it made perfect sense for us to give Riekerd that opportunity and have both of these guys, because we like Don as well and we want to see him do well. But for the match purposes, it's still like, I think from the mainstream or from the majority of people who are arm wrestling fans, you could say it's a very competitive match, and you could see the guy winning, which is exactly what we want. Whereas some of the matches that were presented were like, that's not really a competitive match at all. Like that may, it might build more of Riekerd's story, but we think that he's ready to go up against some of those bigger names already. So, but yeah, you're right about the hype train, and you're only as good as your last performance. And unfortunately, the same that happens with MMA, happens with arm wrestling, and happens with most combat sports. You could be a champion, but if you lost in your last match, everyone writes you off instantly. So people love to do that. I don't know why. You can win 12, 13 fights in a row, matches in a row. You lose one, and then you're going against like the best guys in the world, and maybe it's a close match, and then he's useless, he's washed up, forget him.
Yep.
So yeah, it is important. I mean, you want to get opportunities, you want to stand out, you want to have charisma, you want to have a personality, but you need to back that up on the table as well. And if you're backing that up and you combine the two, that's where you become a superstar.
98 Arm Wrestling says, Riekerd, call out Derek Smith or Mega Mike or Brandon Allen or Ryan Grandin.
if I have to choose, I'll choose Mega Mike.
Okay. So the reason why I think this is a really good.
What's the inside joke here?
Ryan Grandin. So Ryan Grandin's the leader of the 98, and he's not really. He calls himself the worst arm wrestler. I actually went against him in a super match, and I beat him. That was like one of my first super matches, so that's why it was funny that he said his name. But what I want to say to you, bro, is I think this Don Underwood match, I really, really like it. And I like that, the way that Matt's thinking and all, because, I always used to have Don Underwood as like the gatekeeper to the elite level. I always put him and Mike Aiello like right there. And actually, when I threw my a 4-way round robin a couple years back, I had Don Underwood, Mike Aiello, Jordan Sill, and Chance Shaw all in one, because I felt like those were the guys, I felt like Jordan and Chance were knocking at the door to the elite level, and I wanted to get them in that. And also, a couple of years back, Don was definitely that elite door. Like you had to get through Don to get to that elite level and everything, so I think this is a really good match for you. I think this is going to, kind of give an idea of where you lie on the totem pole. And, I know Don hasn't competed in the last couple years on the big stage and all, but he's definitely a guy that 35 years in, he comes with a big reputation, and he's fun, man. He's not one of those like quiet guys, and it's just gonna be like a respectful man. He's gonna make this into a show, man, and it's a good test for you mentally too to deal with somebody like that. Because he's going to be in your face. He's going to be talking shit the whole time. He's kind of like Travis with that shit. So, I like this one, man. Somebody also said this one, which this could be a good match eventually too. Riekerd versus Schoolboy. That's two young guys right there.
Yeah, that's probably the match I would like the most. Just because it has a story, I would just avenge my friend Ryan, So that's something I would like.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good one, and he's world class right there at his
I
age.
think first of all, it's just I need to prove myself first. Schoolboy is the most influential arm wrestler in the world, and I need to. It's the same thing. I need to win. I need to win and prove myself.
Yeah, so Aaron Castillo says also the hype train does gain some momentum based on how his opponents do as well. He did well against Mario in his first super match, and Mario has been going berserk ever since. Yeah, I agree with that, Aaron. But I also feel like he's at that beginning stage, and Brian Shaw being the genetic freak that he is and that big, and him being pretty new into the sport, I don't think there's much of a window for that match to happen. So if it was going to happen, I think you got to get that now. And I think what it would do for Riekerd's career as far as getting well known across the globe, as far as also getting new eyes out of arm wrestling on it, I think that would make sense, and it really would be worth his while. But I also understand what you're saying. You want to see quality arm wrestlers going against them and all, but I think that makes sense for Brian as well, because Brian wants to really get known out there, and everybody's really jumped on this hype train with Riekerd, calling him the young phenom, and what's next for him and everything. So I think it makes sense for both of those athletes, and I really see it as a possibility where anybody else you would say, I don't think Brian Shaw would want that match. He's looking for those big fame matches, and I think with Riekerd he kind of gets that. So it's a small window of time that I think that makes sense, and let him go beat him in, 2-3 months right after Don Underwood. And then right after that, like I said, he just beat Don Underwood, who's kind of at the door of the elites. Now he could go and pull up from there. But I also don't want him to go too fast in his career, man, because I always say arm wrestling's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and there's only so many people that, he could pull on his journey up. If he goes too high, too quick, a lot of these matches you guys are throwing out, he's already bypassed them by beating too big of names. He's missing out, and we want to see him progress the whole way, man. So, I like the list of Derek Smith. I like hearing Mike Aiello. I like hearing Mega Mike. Those matches also make sense, man, and it's something that we get to see, and we're not throwing them to the top dogs right away, man. So I definitely I encourage and I think you're under the right people, man. You got Matt and Brian Bowen looking over you, and they really understand that kind of stuff. So you're with a good team, man, for sure, bro.
Yes, 100%. No, I won't disagree. Amazing team. Always there when I have any questions and all that. So it's not just from a professional side, but I think even just as a friendship, it's really nice, and that's something you should have, I think.
Hell yeah. So Matt, I want to kind of come to an end over here, so I want you to just bring us the last talks of what's going on this weekend, man. Kind of just run through everything, and then I do have a couple questions. People been hitting me up, messaging me, asking about Ashley. Do we know what her raw bench press is? Because of course people are like, oh, it's equipped and all that. What is her raw bench press looking at?
I don't know what the conversion is. I think it's 170 kilos. If so, times that by 2.2, and you'll get the raw number. But
it's about
170,
400,
I
400
believe.
something. Because 180 is 405 pounds.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so 170 times 2.2, and you'll get the answer.
So it's 374, 374 pounds. Okay, so
that's the raw.
Okay, so that's pretty strong up there. But who I want to see is Jocelyn, man. I know Jocelyn Bryson we got to go look at her numbers. I think she might be up in that land, man. So that's definitely something to look into. Maybe they should have like a, one day they should do like a bench press and see who could go heavier, and then the next day have a super match or something like that. That'd be some good cross networking going on right there.
That would be very cool, actually. Yeah, I know that Ashley is focused for this weekend. She's already in Adelaide, actually. Dave is showing her the sights and taking her around. But she's very focused on this Sunday's match. And then she said, which I believe she said on the Buzz show, that she's going to go break her own world record. And that's her next goal, is to go back on the bench press. She benched over 700 pounds, which is, 317 kilos or something insane. When I heard that number, when they said it was 700, I was like, I can't even believe that that's a real thing. Like, that's almost a car, like it's almost getting under a car. And I would just get crushed by that. Like, it's insane to think that somebody could take that weight down and press it back up. It's unbelievable. And then, so that's her goal, is to focus on the bench, beat her own record. I think she said after that, she's looking at moving on from bench press, and that might be her last lift in bench. But I guess you'd always got to wait and see what happens with athletes, because they could say one thing and then they do the lift and they're like, all right, next week I'm going to do it again. So
she definitely did say that, though, on the Buzz. She said, I think her next thing it was either February or April, and then that's it. She's done with the bench pressing and she's going all in arm wrestling. And I was really happy to hear that. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of big matches for her. I know a lot of people were throwing out some big names and want to see her against Gabby, and I know you guys almost had the Sarah Bachman match locked in and all. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And then just for everybody else, I had to postpone Sarah Bachman's scheduling today. We had I had something come up and we had to push it back. So we're going to be doing that interview. I believe it's on November 4th. We'll have her on. It's whatever that Monday is, and we'll definitely be asking about Ashley and if she would want that match down the line and all. But yeah, tell us more about Sunday and what people can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the AWE Grand Prix 2, of which the first one, the AWE heavyweight title, was won by Riekerd Bornman, the man on the show today. He is looking to defend his title. It is a 8-man double elimination invitation only tournament. Oh, there you go. He's going to get the belt now, and he'll keep that belt forever. So if you win one of the AWE belts, you do get to hold on to it forever. And then if you do get beaten, the person who wins it, they get their own belt to keep as well. So that will belong to Riekerd for the rest of his life. But the actual title of AWE heavyweight champion is up for grabs. So it'll be this Sunday, October 27th, here in Adelaide. Well, I'm not in Adelaide. I'm in Mumbai at the moment, but I will be in Adelaide on Sunday. And so we've actually got, because we had a couple of people that originally booked in, they couldn't make it. We had Tahiti's number one who had to pull out. And so we've got a 4-man round robin that's going to kick off the event. It starts at 12:30 in Adelaide, and the 4-man round robin will determine who gets the 8th position. So they're just doing a 1st to 1. The winner of that will take the 8th position in the 8-man tournament, and each of the 8 matches in the 8-man tournament is 1st to 2. So we've got some absolute mega gigantic humongous humans, the biggest we could find in the southern hemisphere, to try to take down Riekerd Bornman, who is very confident that he's going to hold on to that title and hold on to that belt. And we also have a left-handed match after the tournament between Riekerd Bornman and a veteran of Australian arm wrestling in Brett Coots, 17 years in the sport, has some big wins against some of the biggest names in arm wrestling, Ron Barth, and he is very focused on trying to not only take away the heavyweight title, but take down Riekerd on the left hand as well. So that is a super match taking place after the tournament. And then following that, we have Ashley Hueta, who we were just talking about before. She's New Zealand's strongest woman, and she is the world bench press world record holder, and she is taking on Australia's number 1 arm wrestler, a girl from Queensland. Her name is Keziah Harrington, and she is going to be facing on the right and the left. So it's a very exciting event. It will be taking place. We're filming it, then we're going to be editing it and uploading it as soon as we possibly can to get it up for free. It's going to be on the AWE Underground YouTube channel. And for those in North America, you'll more than likely see it on Sunday morning.
how do you pick the order of the matches for the 8-man? That was I keep meaning to ask you that. Is that
It's
already like chosen
yeah.
already, or
Well, we know what it is. It's seeded. We haven't sort of told the athletes exactly what the brackets are yet, but yeah. So it's seeded. Riekerd's obviously the number 1 seed, being the defending champion, and then the number 8 seed will be the winner of the round robin.
and we know Brett Coots is number 2, right? He's the number 2 seed out there.
Yes, yeah. Well, if you keep going through the list, you'll find them all out. But yeah, Brett will be number 2. He came second in the first AWE Grand Prix. So the way that the tournament structure is set up, number 1 goes against number 8. So Riekerd will get the winner of the round robin in the opening frame, and then it is double elimination. So if you lose a match, you drop into the B side. And so yeah, number 2, which is Brett Coots, he'll be taking on number 7 seed, and it goes on like that through a normal tournament structure.
Who's the 4 guys that you got going in that round robin beforehand?
Yeah, so we've got some guys from the South Australian Titans Arm Wrestling Club, and one of the main reasons for that is that these guys are really good pullers, and we wanted to give them an opportunity. And I didn't want to just pick one of them and say, okay, look, somebody's pulled out last minute. We'd love to have you come on board. The problem with having somebody pull out and then being in Australia is, you've got the problems with visas and international flights and all the rest of it, and the big costs of trying to get a replacement in, especially last minute. So we looked locally, and we've got these 4 guys who are very, very good pullers. One is the AWE junior champion. His name's Hamza Hodzic, and he's only 18, or he might have just turned 19 years old. He's won an Australian title. We've also got Stephen Carroll, who is a heavyweight that sits around 115, 120 kilos. Very strong inside game. He also competed over in Singapore recently and did quite well there. We've also got Las Bota, who is another South African. His nickname is the Berserker, and if you watch any of his matches, you'll find out exactly why he's called the Berserker. He is an absolute maniac when he gets on the table. There is never a boring match with that man, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch in the world, and I get the pleasure of training with him and facing that fury every single Sunday whenever he comes in. And then we've got, who is the 4th person in that? I'm blanking on the 4th person at the moment. Who is the 4th person? Just give me a sec. I will remember. But those 4 guys will be battling it out. Whoever wins that position will take the number 8 spot in the tournament.
Wow, very cool, man. I bet you these guys are really happy to get that shot at that, and that'd mean a lot for them to get on the card for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I'm very annoyed at myself for not remembering who this is, because it's one of the guys that I train with every week.
Oh no, they're gonna be mad at you the next practice.
Yeah, like, you forgot me. How did you forget me? No, oh god, just give me. Talk about something else, and I'll try to remember.
Riekerd, how's it feel with that belt, man? You I see that really means a lot to you. Is that like the best award that you've won so far in your whole arm wrestling career and all?
Yeah, it's definitely. So in my rugby career, I was getting under 16 Springbok, and in my arm wrestling, this is. I even went to bed with this. Just sit beside me. So yeah, it's a massive victory for me and achievement. Yeah.
And what about your brother? You said your brother is 16 years old. Is he on the arm wrestling table now? Like, is he really getting into the sport as well?
Yes. No, Paul, the thing is, I've started on 20 years old. Yeah, I'm 20. Yeah. So I started on 19, 20 years old. My brother started on 15 years old. And he has someone that truly loves the sport behind him. And I will learn him everything that I have up to this point, So yes, but you guys will see a lot of training footage coming up of me and him. And when I get back to South Africa, he's going to look me in the eye. He's 16 years old, and he weighs 110 kgs.
So what is that? Let me check.
235, something like that.
Hold on, let me check.
I'll say the 4th name because I remembered. So Tyler Harrison is the 4th person in that round robin. I'll give you a very quick background on him. He's an up and coming young man who is doing very well. He's training under Lachlan Adair. His focus has really been on his hand and wrist. I think that's one of Lachlan's strengths, is getting people to really start looking at that as one of their priorities. And Tyler has really improved his game significantly, and he's had some really big wins at the club. Very focused, and he's a quiet young man when you speak to him, but when he gets on the table, you can see the determination and fire that's in his eyes. His nickname is the Hitman, because he will blast from any position, regardless as to if he's in a losing spot or if he's in an advantageous position. You'll see a pressure, and then he'll just hit so he is the fourth man in that 4-man round robin.
Nice, man. I can't wait to see that. And it's 242. So his brother's 16 years old, 242. You know, the dude's gonna be a beast. Now, does he live in South Africa, or is he with his okay? So you guys
we still live with my parents, yes.
do you guys have a table over there at your parents' house?
Yes.
Okay.
I've built one, yes. So yeah, he sorted, and my father has just built me a pulley system about 3 days ago. So he sent me through all this stuff, because I've just drawn it for him in what I want for. Because the thing is, I'm going to South Africa for 3 months now. Everything needs to be ready for me when I get there, you know.
Yep.
So my gym contract is already up for 3 months, and arm wrestling table is sorted, and my brother has been training really hard. He just wants to give me something, you know. So I'm really proud of him, and I know you guys will see something of him in the future. Definitely. He'll be South Africa's #1 when he's matric. Definitely.
Wow, looking forward to that. Now, you're going back to live at South Africa full time? Are you going to be back in Australia? Like, what's going on with you, and where are you going to be living?
And you see, Bo, the thing is, I'm still busy. I'm a student. I'm on a student visa in Australia, so I'm busy. I'm doing my carpentry. So I'm just and the thing is, I only work 3 days a week, so I don't have any full-time work or something like that. So I have no commitments. So I'm going back to South Africa to spend some quality time with my family. It's tough to be here by yourself, you know. So it's just going back home, seeing how things are going. I've lost my granddad just a couple of months ago. So it's tough to lose people you really love, and you're not there, you know. So I'm going back now. I'm gonna have a blast, and just gonna say hi to everyone, and then I'm coming back in beginning of February.
And how long more do you have of school? So, like, how long will you still be in Australia for after this?
So next year is my final year, and then the thing is, at the end of the day, I would like to pursue a carpentry career in Australia. I would like to live here, but if that's not the plan, I'll go back to South Africa and do whatever. But yeah, I would really like to be here. Yes.
Where do you like living, you know, other than, you know, obviously your family's in South Africa, but if you had to choose one place to be permanently for the rest of your life, where would it be?
If I have to choose between South Africa and Australia, but I don't put my parents in the equation.
Yeah,
probably Australia, yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's just, the thing is, it's not for myself. It'll be for my family, a brighter future for my family one day.
Is there more potential in Australia, like as far as work and all that?
Definitely, my friend. When I see you in January, I'll have a nice conversation with you about South Africa and all the nice things. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful country and all that, but economy is down the drain, man. And it's really tough. It's really tough. But no excuses. This is just my honest opinion. Australia is a better country to have a bright future.
Got you. And when you come to Knuckles Up, is that going to be your first time ever to come to America?
Yes. I'm super excited for that, eh? Yes.
And how long you coming for? Like, have you booked anything yet?
I'm not sure yet. I'll probably be there for a week, I think. So,
okay.
Yes.
We'll definitely have to show you a good time, brother. That's, you know, Jersey's right, the state next to me, New York, and, you know, my girl's from Jersey, so yeah, we'll definitely we'll get you out and having a good time, man. For sure.
Yes. Thank you so much, Paul. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, brother. It was a pleasure having you on, and look forward to seeing your future. I'll be tuning in Sunday along with almost everybody else in North America. I know everybody's really excited about this event and all. So I wish you the best of luck, and you got to win both arms, bro. Come on, both arms, not just the right. You got to win the left too, bro. And
Well, thank you so much. So thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for promoting our sport and promoting me as an athlete and having this cool podcast and conversation. I really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to meet you guys. Matt, thank you so much out of India. I can hear you still in India. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
appreciate it. You guys must have a lovely day.
there you go.
Oh,
Let's
look
get a
out.
gun show there. There you go. Oh, Matt in his perfect lighting, man. I'm jealous of
That's
that.
right.
He beats us, man.
All right, fellas. Have a great day.
Cheers.